everyone, and welcome to Mystic Moonstone's weekly angel card reading, the one we do on Monday, which I didn't do last week because we had a lot going on. This will be the last one of July, and it's only going to run to the 31st, and then we'll put up the one for August. I do like to make things complicated for myself, don't I? Okay, so let's have a look. I've got all my cards here. It is so hot, honestly. It's incredible. And it always feels different when it's hot in England for some reason. When it's abroad, I love it. But when it's in England, it just feels sometimes a little bit too much. Let's have a look and see what we have. We have the card of healing, Archangel Raphael. Okay, I always think this is an interesting card because unlike, obviously Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing. For some of you, it will be literal healing. But the yellow in there is more about emotions, mental healing. So it's more about on a kind of psychological level when that comes in. And also, don't forget that Archangel Raphael helps you to connect with your intuition. So it may be helping you to kind of connect with your hunches again, listen to your inner voice. Okay, where am I going? I'm going to go here. Ooh, I'm going to melt. I literally am going to melt. Let's have a look. I can't have any fans on because you won't be able to hear me. I kind of work in the office now with like 3 fans on. It's ridiculous. Okay, we have repetition. Now, they say, what is the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's quite often what happens when we don't listen to our intuition. So we'll do the same thing over and over again. And I feel that's where the repetition is coming in now. So watch out for something that you maybe keep trying to make work and it keeps going wrong. Or an error that you keep falling into. Maybe you come at it from different angles, but the result is always the same. Okay, so look at what you're repeating. It may be a pattern in relationships where you're not listening to your intuition and you're allowing the wrong kind of person to come into your life, or you're kind of reacting with a knee-jerk reaction and pushing people out of your lives, you know. So have a look and see where the repetition comes in, because that's where Archangel Raphael will help you with the healing, with the emotional healing. Now, if it's more on a physical health issue and the healing coming in, just try and watch out for something that's being repetitive, something that keeps coming in. So maybe it's an ache or a pain in the same place. Maybe it goes away. Maybe you forget about it, then it kind of comes back again. Listen to your intuition on that one and go and see your GP. Okay. Oh. I don't even look flustered and hot in the video. Let's have a look. I can see myself on the screen and I look so pink. Okay, let's have a look. We have the counsellor. Okay, can you see that card? Okay, so we have the counsellor, Archangel Azrael. He's not coming in as the angel of endings with this card. He is literally coming in as a spiritual counsellor. Okay, and it's saying you're a natural counsellor. Many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. Just make sure that you don't have people sucking the life out of you. That tends to happen. Everybody on the spiritual life path will have experienced that at some point, where you get somebody and they just want answers, support, and you do it because it's what's in your nature, and you are a natural counsellor, you know, all light workers are. And then suddenly you realise that you're a husk, you know, like everything's been drained out of you and you're like, oh, I've got nothing else to give. So watch that, because that could go in with that repetition and it could go in with that emotional healing. Okay, where am I going? I'm going to go over here now. Go all over the place. I like working from this table, so I have all my cards around it. Okay, shock of the new. Maybe the new for you is that you're actually going to put all that counselling skill into yourself and sort yourself out first. And I don't mean that in a rude, offensive way, like there's something that needs sorting out. But as I'm saying, quite often if you're putting all your energy into somebody else or into supporting something else, or, you know, maybe it's a job that hasn't been right for you, maybe it's people around you, and you're being drained, then sometimes, you know, you need to actually think, actually, I need to focus on myself. And that can be a real shock. Okay, I've gone through that personally, and it can be an awful big shock. Okay, for some of you, The shock of the new may be quite literal, new jobs coming in, new relationships coming in when you've listened to your intuition, maybe a new routine coming in. That can be a bit of a shock on the system as well, can't it, sort of thing, whether that's an eating routine, an exercise routine, or just getting some me time routine. It's still a shock. Okay, where am I going? I think I'll go here. I'm going to finish off with Tony Command. I'm looking at the time. I always look at the time on these ones. And we have communication, Archangel Gabriel. Okay, so for some of you, as I said, we're fixing relationships, we're getting your health sorted out, we're switching jobs, we're changing things in your jobs. It all starts with communication. And if you look at this, it almost looks like a Sacred Heart, this card. Can you see the heart on there? Okay, and it's about listening to your heart. Listen to what your heart's saying. Whether your heart's saying something positive or negative, okay, your heart might be saying, do you know something, I really don't like where I am, or I really don't like the situation I'm in. I don't feel good, I feel heavy. Okay, maybe on a real physical level, your heart is really struggling under the life choices you're making. So you will need that shock of the new to give your heart that little boost. Okay, maybe it's with a relationship where there is love there, but you need to communicate. You need to let the truth come out and speak your truth. Okay, so there will be the shock, you know, the shock of the new as you bring this in. For some of you, you know, there may be, as I'm saying, with the shock of the new, I've just kind of gone back, so I felt drawn back to it, starting something new, a new venture, okay, and kind of going through that kind of midweek where like, what have I done? But you will be all right, okay? You will be all right, I promise you that. Okay, communication, going back to the communication, just communicate your needs. Okay, that's what listening to your heart is all about. Where am I going? I'm going to go over here and we'll have a look. Oh, the word wants to be written. Okay, so when we put that with communication, those two cards, you know, they go together perfectly. I love it when I don't script something and it happens like that. There's a message that needs to be sent. Some of you literally need to write down what you're feeling, whether that's writing it down to your boss, you know, that you want to make some changes, whether it's filling in an application form, so that's on the job front. With a relationship, maybe you need to send a text, maybe you know, sometimes writing something down is so much easier than saying it. Sometimes you start to say something and it all kind of gets choked here, doesn't it? And sometimes just sending, but I don't like sending texts with sorting out relationships. So if you're in a row, I would always say send a text where we need to speak, you know, we need to spend some time and you need to look somebody in the eye. But if it's something that you find really painful to express, and it's not an end of relationship thing, but it's something you just really want to get off your chest and you really find it hard, and you kind of find when you start to speak everything kind of gets clogged up, then try writing it down. Okay, not because you want to hurt the other person, but because you want them to understand how you're feeling. Okay, and sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes it could be nothing to do with them, but they can be triggering something from your past. Okay, so for some of you, I just feel write it down, see how it looks. For others, it's about sending that message. Okay, you know, the word wants to be written. And the last thing I would say is part of healing, it's really good, is to keep a journal. So write down what needs to be written there. Okay, but there's lovely butterflies there and like a golden light, and it's almost like you'll find your wings. Okay, you know, you won't stay heavy, you'll find that lightness, and that's like towards the end of this week. Okay, I think I've got to the end. I'm watching the time. I'm going to go into 9 minutes and they're going to say it's too big. Okay, so I'm going to say love and laughter to you all. Bye.